So I was watching Howl's Moving Castle last Saturday night, as one does, and the whole time I was thinking, that's literally the High Lord of the Night Court. And the more I watched and the more I thought about other Studio Ghibli movies, the connections didn't stop there. Feyre, she's giving serious Princess Mononoke vibes. The more I read, the more I started connecting dots across all these different universes. And I have to talk about it, especially once I later found out that Sarah J. Maas was actually inspired by Studio Ghibli. But more on that later in the video. I'll keep the ACOTAR spoilers to a minimum, but today we are diving into the hidden or not so hidden influences behind your favorite ACOTAR characters. Let's start with the obvious. Rhysand, High Lord of the Night Court, charismatic, powerful, emotionally complex, tragically dramatic. Remind you of anybody? Howl from Howl's Moving Castle. He's practically his spiritual twin. Both are impossibly powerful magic users, hide in layers of charm and wit, and ultimately use their strength to protect the ones that they love at whatever cost necessary. And also, they're both a little extra, but that's part of what makes us love them. I could go on about Rhysand, but let's talk about our High Lady, Feyre. Feyre, especially in the first book, reminded me a lot of San from Princess Mononoke. Fierce, independent, deeply connected to nature, more out of necessity, but also out of a love for it, and incredibly human in their flaws. The world of ACOTAR is all about the brutal beauty of the Fey world and the wilderness, and much like Mononoke, it challenges the fantasy trope that humans and nature were ever really peacefully aligned. Also, a more obvious connection is how Feyre is Katniss coded. She hunts to feed her family, sacrifices herself for her loved ones, and somehow becomes a reluctant leader of a whole rebellion. She's a survivor first, and then a queen, and then a High Lady. Now for Tamlin, my least favorite character, but a character that has many connections nonetheless. Hear me out. He is a little bit like Ashitaka from Princess Mononoke, if Ashitaka lost the plot. Ashitaka is a peaceful prince trying to mediate between humans and nature. He's strong, noble, and wants balance. And that is kind of the Tamlin we meet in book 1. But later, Tamlin starts leaning more towards the beast from Beauty and the Beast. Possessive, well-intentioned, but deeply misguided, and trying to love in all the wrong ways. Even Sarah J. Maas actually quoted that Beauty and the Beast was an inspiration for A Court of Thorns and Roses, and it definitely shows. Hello. Now this is niche, but one of my favorite characters, Amren, you can't even deny she gives Edna mode from The Incredibles. Tiny, terrifying, stylish, and definitely immortal. This is a sillier comparison, but it is really funny how there's so many parallels between them. If we're being serious though, she also gives Black Widow energy, mysterious past, hidden power, fierce loyalty, and definitely the don't mess with me unless you want to die vibe. She's one of the most powerful beings in the series, and she knows it. Speaking of powerful beings though, Cassian is the heart of the inner circle. He's strong, a little cocky, and deeply loyal. But what really stands out to me about him is his emotional depth. This was something that caught me off guard in the 5th book. He's been through so much and been let down and abused so many times, yet he still shows up for others, still has such a bright energy about him, and is there to lift others up again and again. Honestly, he reminds me more of Captain America and Superman. Not in the flashy clothing way, but in the way that he might not be the smartest strategist, but his compassion, his leadership, his pure strength help him save the day and make him a fan favorite. I especially love seeing how he's the only one who's able to handle Nesta's delicate mental health problems that cause her to lash out and be really cruel to people. He's been through a lot himself and he doesn't make her feel bad about it. He actually uses his vulnerabilities show her that he's well-intentioned and that she can overcome it. Brave enough to do so when nobody else is. Very noble and a very selfless risk. And we have the third man, most elusive of the brothers, Azriel. Azriel's whole vibe is dark, quiet, and kind of angel of death vibe. And fittingly, his name mirrors Azrael, Archangel of Death. Shadow magic, silent movements, intense stare. He's mysterious. You get the idea. He's the most mysterious of the Bat Boys, and we love him for it. He evokes something old, the Archangel of Death. I can't fathom a better comparison than that. Next, we have our third sister, Elain. Elain gets a lot of criticism for being soft. She's actually such an archetype. She's the Cinderella Aurora of the group. Gentle, kind, overlooked, dreamy, passive, until she isn't. She's deeply connected to nature, enjoys the little things, especially gardening, and she often seems guided by personal choice rather than greater ambition. But maybe that's where our story starts, not ends. A lot of fans do speculate that the 6th book that is coming out, who knows when, but has been hinted at, is going to focus more on her or Azriel's story, or perhaps both of their stories. And I think that would be pretty interesting. As much as I miss Feyre and Rhysand's point of view, I believe the reason that these characters feel so vivid is because they tap into these archetypes we already know and love and give them a new life. That's why we make Pinterest boards, Spotify playlists, and AI-generated Night Court family photos, and why they get millions of shares. I've even made a Rhysand playlist. I love it. I listen to it all the time, and it just retells his story, and it feels like something that he would listen to. I will share it in the description to change your life. But my point is that to those who have read it, it's not just a book series, it's a world that we emotionally live in, and that's magic. Reading words and thinking of other characters and how they're like that person. It reminds me of you hear a song and you think about your best friend and you want to share it with them. But feeling like that about a book character, it's pretty amazing. Let me know in the comments what you think, or if you have any of your own comparisons. I've heard things like Lucian as Flynn Rider, or more being Meg from Hercules. Let me know if you want me to make a part 2 with your suggestions. And as always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to be a part of the serene farm that we all live on, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. I have a lot more content coming soon that I'm excited about. And until next time, take care of your real life, and I'll see you very soon.